there you go, for all those people who said all those horrible things about her. She was drunk, she was this. Lots of people never even, oh, she's not even pregnant. She was making that up. That's false. Well, you'll see that it isn't. And you can see that that poor woman, that's the last walk into her house that she does. And then she has to go watch through what she does. Anyway, it kind of inspired me to make this little video. I've put in a bit about Shanann's dad talking about her because he is such a lovely man and says such lovely things about her. And you get to maybe understand a bit more about Shanann through him. And I put a bit more of other stuff on there because, you know, this poor woman. I thought that I heard that Discovery were releasing a bit more information just so that everybody knows that it was obviously just a bit more information that's been released. It would have probably been better if we'd all seen this months ago, really. But anyway, I wanted to a bit about with her dad. It explains about her lupus for all those people who didn't believe that she even had that. And do you see what rumours do? Yeah, this poor woman has been totally ridiculed and ripped to pieces when actually none of this was her fault, right? She loved her husband. No, she may not have been perfect. Who is perfect? If you are, then you're fooling yourself. And she didn't want her marriage to be over. She had no idea that these things were going on. It was all his game. He created it. He did all these things. He killed everybody. It's his mess. He did it. You cannot include her in it. She's just a victim of this. Oh, sad, sad, sad story this is. Poor Shanann and her children. Anyway, let the rest begin. I was going to actually chop all this video up and put bits here and bits there, but I actually decided not to because when you listen to Shanann's dad, all you want to do is actually give him a hug. And it explains a bit more about Shanann, what kind of person she was, and also that basically he believes that Shanann died in her sleep because she feels that if he had tried to attack her and she was awake, she would have tried to give as good as she get, and she didn't even try. So he thinks that she must have been asleep. But he talks a bit about Bella and Cece. He talks about the keypad and the fact that he used to live with them for a while, and the fact that he's been over quite a few times to look after the children when they've gone off on their weekends away or their little mini holidays. But he actually lived with them for a while, so he knows that the keypad to the garage is broken and stuff like that. Anyway, I know this isn't new stuff, but after I know that we're all so upset with this case, the messages I've had that people are just in mourning still for this her children and the fact she was pregnant and everything. Yeah, I'm just going to put this out that Shanann's dad did. It's not the whole thing. I've just taken a section of it out. I've left some of it in there when he's talking about Chris being a good dad, but I took some of it out. But yeah, what a lovely man Shanann's dad is.
I believe we talked to him and the kids that Sunday night for FaceTime. I believe Bella was eating cold pizza and some kind of a Jolly Rancher taffy or something like that it was. And that was the last time I've talked to anybody. I haven't, the last time I talked to my daughter, I got to look at my phone. It was a while because she went away, and I usually don't bother her when she's away. I'll text her here and there, but that's the last until that morning when that afternoon we found everything out.
How did you guys find out?
My wife was trying to get a hold of Chris. Well, first she tried to get a hold of my daughter. That morning, that Monday morning. She kept calling her, couldn't get her, so she texted her, and she texted her something. Well, she says she texted her. If Shannon didn't want to be bothered with my wife, because my wife can be a little pushy sometimes. She may tell her to go F and just leave me alone, I text her back, I'm fine, just leave me alone. So, I mean, she never called me to say, hey, can you text Shannon to find out? So, nothing. And then she called Chris, told Chris that you better call the hospital or something because Shannon's not answering her phone and she's supposed to take Bella to kindergarten. And when Shannon was here, she was just so excited to take her because I said, why don't you take her to the new school you guys just had built up the street? She said, no, Dad, because then if she does that, then she's got to go to pre-K again. I want her to start kindergarten right now. And my daughter's a stickler when it comes to being on time and everything. So when Sandy got off the phone with Chris, or Chris called her back, so yeah, I texted her a few times. She's in one of her moods. She said she was going to her girlfriend's house and that we had a little bit of a fight this morning, but nothing. And then Nicole called Sandy up and told her that the police are at the house because she can't get a hold of Sandy. I mean, get a hold of Shannon. That's the one that dropped her off that night. And she said, I can't get in the front door because the lock was on, the safety lock I put on there. And so then they got a hold of the cops. I called Chris twice and said, where are you? They're at the house. Where's Shannon? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm on my way. I'm fine. I'm getting there. And then he got to the house, and then all this was going down. And then I don't know if it was the same day that Nate had called me and said that he had it on video that he backed his truck into the driveway that morning, which never, ever gets back. I was living out here for over a year and a half. In their house, and that truck never, ever, his company truck never got pulled into that driveway. Because it leaked oil, from what Shannon said, and she didn't want her driveway dirty with oil. So it would never, I mean, he would have to take it to a car wash and everything, and nothing was ever done in that house with that truck, because it's a company truck. So when he told me that, and then he threw at me, he said, yeah, and then, it was kind of funny, because when you guys were gone, she was gone, he would took her car out of the driveway, out of the garage, and parked it down the street for a couple of days. I'm like, what? Why would he do something like that? So, and then when he told me the truck was back into the driveway, and then I heard, because Sandy was on the phone with them when they got into the house, and I was there, and they said, her cell phone is here, her purse is here, and then when I ended up getting a hold of the police, I said, you better get his GPS. I mean, I didn't say it that way, but I said, you better get his GPS because something is wrong. That man never pulls his truck in, and it's in the driveway.
I'm sorry, Nate told you this?
Yes, Nate.
Who's Nate?
Nate's his neighbor.
The neighbor, okay.
Mm-hmm. He's the one who had all this on the video.
The camera, gotcha.
The cop's like, well, we got to do what we got to do. She might have just ran away. I said, no. My daughter's phone is like a magnet. That phone does not leave her side. I don't care where she is. That phone is with her 24/7. That's her business. She runs the Thrive business, and she never leaves the house without her phone. I told the cops, there's, you can say what you got to say, but there's something wrong. And I mean, there's just so much stuff that's been going on afterwards, and like I went on TV and thanked everybody for it because I just can't understand them. And for him to do what they say he did to these two little children, or saying my daughter did, I don't believe that at all. But she would never ever hurt those kids. That's her life. And to have another baby, it was just, that's her life. She took care of kids all her life, and I don't know how you could kill two little kids and then throw them in an oil tank. I mean, when I heard that just really...
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, but like I told the DA, I said, I can't lie. I mean, he was a good dad, and he was a good father from what we know. Their financials and everything else, I don't know nothing about them. She never talked to anything about it to us. Now she did speak to a few friends and told them what was going on. But other than that, I didn't know anything that was wrong with them.
So you had no idea if they were in financial troubles, they never asked to borrow money or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And she never said anything about them not getting along?
Nope.
Or them...
Because if I would have known that she and him were having an argument or fighting, and she felt unsafe going home with him, I would have been right there with her, because don't trust nobody.
Yeah. How did they meet?
They met through a friend of, I believe it was either hers or his, in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Because she would be turned 5 in December.
Right. Tell me about the pregnancy. How did you guys find out, and what did they say about that?
Whether she just found out she was pregnant.
Yes.
Oh, she called us and told us
Okay.
that she was pregnant again. And it's something that, with her health, she had problems with Bella, she had problems with Celeste, and we were worried about her health.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand you want to try to have a boy, but we're worried about your health before you have another baby. And they were trying, from what we were told, they were trying to have another baby. And then when she was pregnant, she had, every time she was pregnant, she did something big for Chris. It would, this surprise, go upstairs and read this, and she had shirts made for everybody. They said, we're expecting again, or something like that. It said, and he came walking in the house because she had on video.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to have 6,000 videos and pictures on her phone. And you see him come in. He was all excited and everything else, and I don't know. And then that Monday when she came back, she told Chris had told us that she had a sealed letter. So what he told her, this was enough, because we kept asking Shannon, what is it? What is it? I don't know yet, Dad. I don't know yet. And we know she went to the doctor before she left. She said, I don't know. And then he said that she had a sealed envelope or a sealed letter from the doctor's office telling them what the sex was of the baby. So I never got to see that from her.
Do you know who prompted having a third child? Was that her idea? Was he pushing for it? Do you know?
They were trying to have a boy. He wanted to have a boy.
Okay.
Even though Celeste was a tomboy.
Yeah.
She was
When was the last time you talked to Shanann?
Before she left. I can look at my phone and tell you exactly.
Before she left for
Arizona.
Okay.
And then I just texted her, told her to have a safe trip back, and
how often would you talk to her?
every day.
Every day?
Every day we'd FaceTime. And didn't miss a day. If I missed a day, I was going crazy without seeing them kids.
But that's when she was at home? Is that what you said?
I FaceTimed them even when Chris was there. So if she wasn't there, I still FaceTimed.
Okay.
I FaceTimed almost every night unless I got home late from work and the babies were sleeping.
Okay. But you didn't talk to Shanann when she was on trips, generally?
Stuff we just text.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I never really bothered her when they were out. I mean, she'd take pictures of everybody and she'd be on, live and do all that. I usually never bothered her when she was there. I text her and how you doing? Is everything all right?
Okay. But you'd FaceTime every day to talk to the kids?
I would FaceTime every day to talk to the kids.
Okay. Even if she wasn't there?
Even if she wasn't there.
Gotcha.
Like I said, that Sunday I did call. We did FaceTime them, and they were, I asked Chris how everything going good. Bella said something about Mommy coming home. I said, yeah, she's not coming home till midnight, and she'll be home tomorrow. And
you remember what time on Sunday you FaceTimed them?
They were eating dinner, so it had to be about 7 o'clock our time.
7 o'clock?
North Carolina time. Because they usually eat around 5 o'clock, and Shanann is kids eat at this time. even when they came out North Carolina, I said, Shanann, you got to give them a little bit of break because it's different time now.
Right.
So now you're giving them food at 3 o'clock, and they're used to being eating at 5 o'clock. So you got to give them a little bit of break. So yeah, she was. I mean, kids took naps at 12 o'clock every day. I mean, she had them on a great schedule. They did it.
And nothing out of the ordinary on the FaceTime
No,
on Sunday?
I didn't. Yeah. Chris is Chris. I mean, did nothing. Nothing ever gave me any kind of a thing that there was a problem at that house.
What did you think when you first heard that people couldn't get a hold of Shanann?
Well, when Sandy said she couldn't get a hold of Shanann, it didn't. I mean, because I know sometimes Shannon's like, "Mom, just leave me alone." She doesn't do it. But sometimes if Sandy couldn't get a hold of her, she'd say, "Can you text her and find out what's going on?" Shanann would answer pretty much me all the time. So she never called me. When I found out she was missing, and then before I even knew about the truck, and they said her phone was in there, I told them right away there's something wrong. And then she said the front door had the security lock on it because I put one on there when I was out there. Something similar to these, we put the latch on so the girls open the door, they can't get out. And I put one on there, and I put one on the garage door.
Do you know, did they usually leave those engaged, or?
I had that question already. Shanann, if she got home late like that, she may do it. Shanann did it more than Chris would do it, just because the girls would open the door. You know, especially if they seen him pull up, they'd open the door and they'd run out, and they wouldn't run out like kids do.
Right.
You know, they don't know a street. You know, so yeah. If Shanann did come home late that night, she probably did lock that and put that across.
Okay.
And when they told me that was on, the back door was locked from the inside, the only way she got out would be the garage. And they're like, well, she could have. No, my daughter's not climbing over no fence with no kids. My daughter is like my wife. I'd be arrested and he'd be arrested before she left that house. So, I mean, that's just the way they are. They're Italian. So yeah, when they told me that, I understand what they had to do. They had to go in their steps and do all that. But when I lived out here for so long, I mean, I know everybody's routine here, and she doesn't do it. And then they're saying, well, maybe somebody came in the garage and this and that. She doesn't open that garage door until the kids are in the car, because they'll take off.
Right.
So that door never gets opened. I was like, well, anybody was in that garage, they would have had to get her from the inside, and they still would have had to go outside, and Nate's camera would have caught them then. And that's what really, I gave these cops some types of earfuls. So sometimes it wasn't the pleasant, but they listened to me, and I was there. I know it, and that first day when they said she was missing, I just knew something was wrong, because she doesn't do it. And then to find out the EpiPen was there, no.
Yeah.
That was her life right there.
But you didn't immediately think Chris had done something to her? Is that what you thought?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's not like her, and he was the only one to see her that night. I know her. She went and left that house.
Yeah. When did you live out there?
We've been back a little over a year now. This Christmas I was here. The Christmas prior to it, I was out there. So
the last Christmas.
Christmas I was here.
Here in Colorado.
Here.
Okay.
Out there.
That's what I was clear. So
last
Christmas
I was in North Carolina.
Okay.
The Christmas prior to that, I know I was out here, and I think we spent 2 Christmases out here.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not sure. But I know I was out here that Christmas prior to that one. To get back to Chris.
Yeah.
The girls were never out there. They got punished for any reason. Even at the house here. They'd always cry for daddy. Daddy, daddy, daddy. like, you know, daddy's the easy one. They can get away with everything. You know, go in the corner. Oh, daddy, daddy, daddy. When they were with me, Shannon had set it up because I was out here for that week, and she wanted to come to visit everybody. It went from a week, then it went to 2 weeks. She says, "No, I'm gonna do it 6 weeks." She spend the summer. So she set it up so she could have the air flight with me, so we can come back together. So she wouldn't try to put 2 little kids on an airplane by herself. And when I had them, since I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever, they were great. Then all of a sudden they're looking for mommy, so they take off. I was being like an O.J. Simpson going through airports chasing these 2 little kids. And I caught them, and they were at the bathroom, and Bella was just like screaming like on top of her lungs like somebody was trying to steal her. I'm like, "Bella, your mother's coming." And I'm holding them, and then right in the middle of an airport. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be arrested here for these 2 little kids screaming for their mother." And I was like right in front of the women's room, so I'm like sitting down. I wasn't about to try to pick them up and carry. And I'm like, these kids are like there to get me arrested and everything else. I'm like, you know. And when they came back to the house, they did the same thing with Chris. And now that I look at things and see what happened. Why he may have done something like this. Maybe he just got tired of hearing these kids cry for mommy all the time and not him. And always, mommy disappeared, they're flying to her and not to him. And, you know, maybe he had a little bit of a resentment in him. I don't know, but kids always go to their mother.
Yeah.
You know, they always go, mommy, 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 go. I say go. Go see your mommy. You want to go? Go. You know, I'm better off. So things like that, you know, after this fact here is just, well, is this something that could have happened? When I left them at the airport to come back home, I left them, you know, I was going down the escalator, and Celeste comes flying to the escalator. I go flying back up, but I don't need this little kid coming on his escalator. And it was just... oh, give me a kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss. And they all came over to the elevator and they're all blowing these kisses to me. And Chris's father was very close with the kids from what I can see all the time. Sometimes me and him be on a text message. She put a picture up at 6 o'clock in the morning and me and him be like, you know, beautiful, love it. And it seemed like me and him were like in competition to see which way we went with the picture, you know. And, you know, so, but Chris and his parents they're different than I'll say from us. I mean, it seems as though we have heart and feelings, and sometimes you see them and some stuff didn't bother them. Now that could be just the way they're brought up. I have, you know, people are brought up all different ways. But I feel that also Chris may have thought that if something did happen just to Shannon, he knew it would happen to him, but maybe he knew that, hey, no, these kids are not going to her parents. So these things run through my head, you know, in thinking of what maybe he was thinking of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is it normal for them to come out for that long during the summer?
No, this was the first time Shannon did it.
Okay.
Because she knew that she was going to be pregnant and that she would be able to come, you know, start flying. And she figured that if she came out, she'd be able to spend time with us and his family. Okay. So that everybody could see the kids for the summer and do whatever, you know, we could do. We all were planning on like going to the beach at the end of because Chris was coming out the last week. And we were all planning his family and everybody, you know, go to the beach and everybody have a good time. So no, they never come out that long. Because she called me up and she said, "Dad, I'm gonna come out for the summer. You know, come out for, you know, in the summertime and spend some time with you guys, because, you know, we always come out here to watch the kids. Me and the wife always come out and take time we take our vacations to come out here and watch the kids while they go on their vacations because
Mhm.
the company pays for everything. So we come out, okay, yeah, great, because we get to spend time with the kids. So
Right.
one of us come out here. So it wasn't. This was totally, different. Like she said, I'll come out for 2 weeks. I said, okay, no problem. And then she called back. She says, well, maybe I'll come out for a little longer. I said, can you handle being with your mother longer? Well, I'll just have to try to work that out. I said, okay. Because they're, my wife always says, my kids don't take after me. I said, oh, your daughter is, you guys, and me and my son are the same way. It's like butt heads all the time.
Right.
It could be the simplest thing, and we're just butting heads. So it's not like they fought. It was just, they just butt heads. And I said, well, if you can handle it, then fine. And then she said, okay. And she called me back and said, well, Mom's birthday's coming up too, and maybe we'll just stay out there for a little longer and just spend, I'll go stay here with you and then go by Chris's family and, we go back and forth. No problem. So it was nothing, that was the first time it happened. And I guess it gave him time to think about what he's going to do. 'Cause I don't think this was a spur of the moment thing.
Why do you say that?
Well, because stuff don't add up. Why would you move the car out of the garage? Supposedly we're here and you have a girlfriend. You pretty much knew where to take them. I don't know why you would take them to your job. There's plenty of places out in Colorado. I drove for Lowe's out here and I went to the mountains and there's some canyons out there that I don't think anybody be found.
Right.
It just doesn't add up the way it happened, And the thing is, it's just, you taking the car out of the garage and doing these different things that you never ever do.
So when did that happen? When did he take the car out of the garage? Do you know?
I don't know the days.
Okay.
Nate would know if you need to speak to him. He'd probably be able to give you a better idea, but I know he said, yeah, it was like a few weeks he was gone, and he pulls the car out, and not parks it across the street, but parks it down the street. Like, why would you do that? And my daughter got the Lexus through the company. They make a certain amount of money, and then they give you money to go out. They give you, it's like a Lexus, Mercedes, Audi. You got to get all these big expensive cars. And so she hit her thing, and they give her you go out and you get your car, and then they send you, I think they were saying she gets like $800 a month for the car. So they pay for the car, plus you get your money and everything else. And but why would he park his car? And I was sitting there when Shanann called him up that night before he was coming. She said, why don't you call an Uber to make sure you get a ride to the airport? Because this airport's expensive as hell to pay for. And he said, all right, I'll do that. And then he came out and he said, no, I forgot to get an Uber. I left the car out at the airport. And she was like, you left my car outside. And then she heard you guys had that hailstorm, and she was like, oh my God, what are you doing, Chris? We're not go back and find it damaged. And we were driving home, I was driving him up there, and I said, Chris, I hope that car ain't damaged, buddy. He said, yeah, I'll just go out there and get it and just make the phone call, make the claim, and not go back. I was like, good idea. I don't. The things that he was doing prior to that I'm hearing doesn't add up to him just on a spur of the moment doing something.
Yeah. So it'd definitely be.
My daughter, even though she was 15 months pregnant, is a fighter. She has legs on her to throw you across this room. And if he did do something, he did this. I still say he did this while she was sleeping, because he would not look the way he looks right now if she was up. She would have wailed him. She would not have just not given a fight.
I know you said she had lupus, fibromyalgia,
She had lupus,
migraines.
fibromyalgia, migraines. She just recently, a year or so ago, had neck surgery. She had they had replaced something in her back for her neck. I mean, she probably had more diseases. Well, when she was a kid, see, we didn't know anything. So when she was a baby, or she was a kid, even a teenager, we took her to all these doctors because she always had migraines, always bad migraines. I mean, she had to go to the hospital. She took those real strong pills and everything else, and she used to go get shots and all this for it. And we took her to all kind of doctors when she was little, brain surgeons. We took her to everybody to find out why she kept having these problems, and nobody could find out until one day when she was living in Charlotte. She went to a doctor, and they happened to test her for it, and they found out she had it. I mean, that was just a godsend there that somebody actually took the test and did it.
And that's when they found out she had
lupus.
The lupus. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So now when people tell me they have all these different, I said, please tell them to check you for lupus. I mean, it's another test. Just tell them to take another test. I mean, you go to a doctor, they give you 50,000 tests anyway, so you might as well add another one to it. I mean, it doesn't hurt since we didn't know nothing about it. So, people tell us they're having, aches and pains or having this, and they're going, well, have them test you for lupus. Because Shanann went through all this for years, and we never knew it. And someone found out, and when she did find out, I mean, she couldn't eat gluten food. I mean, she couldn't do a lot of things, and then when she came out here, and I mean, this stuff here is not medical. It's not even, I don't think it's FDA approved or whatever it is. But when she came out here, people kept trying to get her to go on this stuff, and it helps, blah blah blah, and everybody's expecting, no, I'm gonna spend all this money on this stuff. Who knows if it works? When she got on that stuff there, she stopped taking. From what I know, she said she stopped taking all her lupus stuff.
And you're talking about the Thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that vitamins? Is that a vitamin patch? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a patch.
Yeah.
It's a shake, and it's pills, and
Okay.
it's a boost. The boost works really good because I was one that drank 2 monsters a day. And a friend of ours' daughter, she was a guard in the prison. She came home. She worked nights. She came home one morning, and she drank a Red Bull, had a heart attack, and died.
Wow.
So I stopped once I heard that. I stopped them, and the boost I take, and that stuff really works.
Did your wife take it too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about any mental conditions or any psychiatric help or anything like that she had when she was growing up?
No.
Never heard of anything. Ever heard of her going to a psychologist or psychiatrist or counselor or anything like that?
Not that I can recall.
Did she ever have any problems with the pregnancies with Bella and Celeste?
Bella, she had, I don't think she had, she may have had a little bit of a, whatever normal pregnancy, but Celeste, she did have more pain. She had different things with Bella. Celeste, sorry, I'm not
that's
a woman, so I don't know all the medical terms for what they had, but I know she had problems. That's why we were worried about her having a third one, because plus her having the lupus and everything else, it's very rare that someone that has lupus will get pregnant, and she did, and then she had another one, and then when I heard she was having another one, I'm like, Shanann, you sure? We're worried about you. Even with Celeste, we was like, because she probably did have a problem with Bella, that's why we're so worried about her with Celeste. And I'm fine, and parents are worried about, your daughter.
Right.
I want a baby, but you come first.
Right.
So yeah, she probably did have some medical issues with them. Nothing. I mean, between having the baby on the spine and giving her the problems, I don't think the neck problem was part of that. It may have been. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. How about after the pregnancy, like postpartum depression, anything like that? No.
No. I could show you pictures of it. Just, Bella, she took pictures every month. Bella would have a sticker on her, 2 months old, and I mean, it was just. That's why I told the DA that I know you guys got her phone, but please, when everything clears, I just want the pictures off it. You can keep the phone, you can do whatever you want with the pictures and everything else, but I just, please download these pictures, because she would, Dad, look, you know, my hair would be up in the morning all over the place. She'd be snapping these pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop.
I heard you like putting it on Facebook. Huh?
Oh, yeah, I mean, everything went on Facebook. I mean, I didn't mind, you know, my wife said, no, I didn't care what I looked like, you know, as my grandkids, I don't care, my hair was sticking up and I was sitting there, and, you know, half asleep or whatever, I didn't care. Yeah, do it, I don't care. Oh yeah, she was and not just one or two, she'd sit there and keep snapping at you.
Yeah.
I'll just delete the ones I want. Yeah, you ain't deleting nothing.
Not buying that.
I'm not buying that at all.
How about Chris? Do you know if he had any medical issues?
My wife calls him. I know I talked to him Sunday night. I could swear I talked to him Sunday night because Bella was eating cold pizza. She wanted cold pizza. I didn't see Celeste. I heard her. I didn't see Celeste, but I heard her. And that's when she said, oh, Mommy's coming home. And he said, yeah, no, Mommy's coming home tonight. So tomorrow morning you wake up, Mommy will be here. So. My wife wanted to delete stuff, so she couldn't pull it back up. But I told her, I said, no, we did talk to him because they went to a birthday party that day, or 2 birthday parties or something they were going to. So they did go to some birthday parties.
Okay. What am I missing?
I mean, color with him, play with him. I mean, they'd wake him up and he was sleeping on the couch. I mean, you know, the mom was more of a distance person.
Did he have any brothers or sisters then?
He had a sister. She never came out here. From what people tell me, she was at the house the day all this happened. Now, I don't know about that. But yeah, he's got a sister. She's got 2 kids, and his mother watches those 2 kids like 3 or 4 days a week. Because supposedly she works nights and she goes out on business. She works at the hospital. The day they all went missing, I mean, we weren't really, because after the fight, they all took us off of Facebook. They all blocked us.
After the fight about the nuts.
The
and
nuts,
stuff?
they all blocked us.
Okay.
And it was strange because his father didn't do it for a while because I kept getting his posts on my thing. And then all of a sudden the father did it. Sister didn't actually do it to me, but they just blocked us all of a sudden. And the sister today, that Monday when they got missing, I had text her on Messenger and said, did Chris call you and tell you that Shanann and the girls are missing? Never got a response from her. Never. And it wasn't like I was trying to do anything. I just want to let you know if Chris didn't get you yet, I want to give you the heads up on it. We never got a response. Frankie, if you ask him, he's got messages from her because she finally got a hold of him. I don't know what else. I mean, if I think of anything, but like I said to Frederick, you know, we were talking the other day about some stuff. He was asking me about the Jack and Jill bathrooms. Yes, they were constantly locked because they didn't want the girls to go together at nighttime. The lock, like you asked, I would say yes, she probably did lock it. I know the garage one she used to always lock. Other than that, I mean, I never seen anything that was wrong in that house when I lived there, or even talked to them. I mean, she never told us anything. Never.
That just reminded me something. When the police were there with Shannon's friend, and they called Chris to get into the house, He said that the keypad to the garage wasn't working.
Yes,
Are you
it does
familiar
not
with
work.
that? That is
It
correct.
didn't work when I was out there.
Didn't work when you were out there? Okay.
No, because she asked me the code, and I told her the code. It was 2385. As far as I remember, it was 2385. And she said, no, it's not working, it's not working. And then I knew it was still not working. Prior to when Shannon was here, well, out there by me, they were having a problem with the garage door. It would just, all the time would just repeat itself, saying someone's opening the garage. Garage is opening, garage is opening. And she kept telling him to call to get it fixed, and he said, I'm working, he's doing it, and then he fixed it, and that's why when I asked the police, did the alarm show anything more since from the morning, and they said it did go off, and I was like, well, I know she said she was having a problem with it. Now, whether he ever got it fixed or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing that I the keypad did not work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does Shannon have any siblings other than Frankie?
No.
No. Okay.
No, we were lucky ones that had a boy and a girl.
All right. Well, I'm sure your head's spinning, so you can't think anything else.
Yeah, I mean, he just is like, now that everything happened. Now I look back and there was maybe why was he getting mad at the kids for it? I can't. I just thought at the time it was just father getting a little bit sterner now. Say, you're not going to get over on me now. I'm gonna, he wouldn't, because when I was out here, he did it, and I looked at him like, is that you? Is it you yelling at the girls? I never heard you do that. It was like, okay, maybe you're just doing your thing. And it wasn't a constant thing. It just caught me off guard because it never did it. Oh, Bella, come on, let's go, Bella, or Celeste, and to hear him raise his voice like that, I was like, whoa.
And that's when he was out in North Carolina?
No, when I was out here just before they left.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, whoa, okay. You're getting a little bit sterner there, but nothing that I would think of.
Right.
This would ever come through.
Right.
Like, okay, you're getting a little sterner with the girls, okay. Just that the girls just, I don't know. They're girls. Sorry. I don't think of anything that would come top of my head right now.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us. I know it's a tough thing to do, especially right now. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been, we have our good times and we have our real down times. So
Imagine. Yeah.
the past couple of days were really bad. This morning was even harder.
Really?
Yeah, to see him.
I can't imagine. Can't imagine what you're going through.
Yeah, so it was. It's real hard. I'm trying to even think of what they were talking about the other day. Frederick Hoffer talked to me about if there was anything that they said that I can't remember now. Can't remember now. I mean, if anything does come up, and I'll give you guys a call and say,
Yeah.
hey,
So I'll
this come up, and
leave my card, and I got my cell phone on here too. So,
yeah, this come up, and this is what I'm thinking. But like I said, I don't. Yes, did I think he did something right away? Yes. I would think it, but yes.
Yeah.
When I found out everything was left in the house and he was the last one to leave that house, yes, he did something right then and there. I knew he did something to them.
Okay.
Because the car, everything was left there, and the house wasn't a mess. Besides, they said the bed, no. She would have fought somebody.
Yeah.
So that's why I say something had to be done when she was sleeping, because of she would have given a big fight, and how big he was. I think he would have went down, because she's got a leg on her, and she would have kicked him worse, and he would have went down. I'm sorry to say it, but she would have went right for that, and he would have been down. So that's what I'm saying. they were asking me, I don't know if you knew about it, they were asking me about the pillow and the blanket or something like that on the couch. It's not uncommon for it to be there. There was either a big blue, like a big king size blanket out there, or a big burgundy. I'm colorblind, so if something's not 100% right in colors, that's just I'm colorblind. But there usually is a big blanket out there because they kept the temperature cold in the house, but she still would keep a blanket on her and sleep up there, or lay with the kids and watch TV up there. Because when we were there, everybody stayed downstairs. When they lived there by themselves, they lived just up in that loft. That's where they stayed all the time. So to have that bed, the blanket or something up there was no big deal. And the pillow very well could have been there, or she just may have came home and just grabbed it and slept out there. That's where they found their phone. So she may just grab the pillow and just lay there and slept for the night.
Okay, so it wouldn't be unusual for her to sleep on that couch?
No, it wouldn't be unusual for her to pass out. I mean, she'll pass out on a chair downstairs. I mean, with us, even we were there, and wake her up to go to bed, and she's like her mother about getting up. And you're like, get up and go to bed.
Tread lightly.
You know, the wife's like, I call her the alligator, because it'll be that one eye would open up and look at you, and it's like, yeah, you go to bed. So it wasn't like I said, that's not something that uncommon that she wouldn't sleep out there. She passed out watching TV. Plus, she came home late. It may have been already there. He may have been up there sleeping. I don't know. And never went to the bedroom. I don't know. And then maybe she just fell asleep there. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not uncommon though.
Okay.
It's not like they were fighting and she slept out there. I mean, it could have been reasons why she did that or he did that, but it's like I said, she'd be throwing his ass out of the house before she left that house. Yeah. And that's the whole thing I kept telling these people. She is my wife through and through. And my wife would not leave the house. She'll have me arrested, and that's just the way Shanann is. She wouldn't leave it. Because the house in Colorado, in Charlotte, she built was actually bigger than this house. And it was only her, and she did this all on her own. Then she sold that house, didn't make much off it, but moved out here, and then they built this house. Everything that was from this house is in this house. So yeah. She's a hard worker. She ain't a slack person.
Yeah, sounds like it.
She's been like that ever since she was 16.
Really?
Always work. So yeah, she would have gave up a fight. I'm sorry to say, but it's just how it is. So that's why we're saying he got her while she was sleeping.
Yeah.
Because he's saying these other stories, which. When I heard that, I mean, I was like, dude, you're just adding fuel to your fire, man. You're just burying your, because you got people out here now that are upset about you, and now you're saying that she did this, and it's like you pulled her off. If my wife did that, I would have beat her down and called the cops. I mean, I'm sorry, but I would have beat her and got her down and knocked her out and called the cops. Said, hey, get here now.
Yeah.
You just don't strangle your wife and dump her in a box.
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it don't. And since he got built. I mean, he got thin because he was over 200 pounds, and he got himself his little 6-pack, and he got himself his arms. I mean, so he made himself look good, and she still would have knocked him down.
Yeah.
I swear she still would have knocked him. She would have knocked him for a looper.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, that's the only thing I have for you guys.
Okay. Well, like I said, I really appreciate your time.